Hey, what's going on, everyone? Um, I'm not, I'm not really sure how to even start one of these videos. 'Cause I've never personally done one of them. I just kind of thought about doing it with the knowledge that I have on anime. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be doing anime hot takes, and obviously, I'm only going to be doing the ones like hot takes on animes that I know a lot about. Obviously, I'm not going to do a hot take on an anime that I've never seen before because I feel like that would defeat the purpose of the video. um, but yeah, I'm just literally scrolling through Reddit right now, and we're just gonna find some anime hot takes. Like for instance, the first one up right here. This is not really a hot take, but it's kind of, but kind of not. It is an anime doesn't need hundreds of episodes to be considered good, or needs to be considered great or good. For example, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That is a very valid statement, and I do agree with that. Coming from a guy who really loves watching animes that are complete in like 50 to 60 episodes, so I can knock them out quick. Because I like to just watch as much as I can instead of spending, like, that's just my thinking on it. I prefer watching an anime that I can finish in like a week compared to an anime that will take me like multiple weeks, even like a month or months. But I'm perfectly fine with either or. I'm actually watching My Hero Academia, as you all know. I don't know if I mentioned that in a previous video. I got about 60 episodes left in that show. But they're coming out with season 8 this year, I believe. So that'll be great. That'll be really good. So then I can finish it and watch the rest this year when the season comes out. But anyways, let's move on. This is just a comment on here. It says, cough, cough, One Piece shouldn't be that long. It discourages new watchers from starting it. That is a very true statement. And that is exactly why I will not watch it. This is literally why I won't watch One Piece, because it's well over 1,000 episodes long. Naruto's different. I've just continue watching that whenever I'm bored and have free time to kill. So I just knock out some episodes of Naruto when I can. Even though I've already finished it, it's still good to rewatch. It's really good, but I do tend to skip over a bunch of stuff that I really don't need to watch. Yeah. There's a comment that just says Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter's not that long. It's long, but it's not that long. Naruto has a bad introduction. All of the stuff with him turning into a naked girl and the third getting a nosebleed is very willed and will make some people not want to watch it. I almost dropped the show there. Why would you drop the show? Why would you drop just that was like the first 3 episodes of Naruto. And it's the humor. Okay? I don't watch it for that. I watch Naruto because it's good. You know? Um that's really interesting. Never seen that. Someone said, then you should definitely avoid Goblin Slayer episode 1. I'm actually quite the opposite of you. I disliked when it basically started to become Dragon Ball Z done and less of its own thing. That's very kind of true. I don't really agree with that. The weakest in Dragon Ball can still scale to at least planetary. Wait, what? Can still scale to at least planetary. Just ask Ambulance. Totally not Mark. I mean, that's a very common statement, is that any, like, the weakest Dragon Ball character can whoop just about anyone else in the other anime realms. I mean, that's a very, it's kind of in my opinion, it's kind of controversial, but it's kind of not, because it is kind of true in a way. Hey, I'm not Demon Slayer is my favorite anime, but I am sorry, but half the people in there would get absolutely obliterated from the majority of people in anime. The majority. Like, Levi Ackerman could probably, in my opinion, just about beat any Hashira. That's in my opinion. That's Levi Ackerman, though. Now, anyone else? I think it's a fair fight. But Levi would be by far the strongest Hashira there ever was, in my opinion. I don't know if that's a hot take, but you can take it as you wish. JJK is only popular because of Glazers. The manga is not nearly as good as people say. The art and especially the story get very confusing and it's not enjoyable to read it. If you actually want to understand something, I won't talk about the ending since many people don't like it. I also don't agree with this at all. I don't agree with this whatsoever. Kind of the ending, because I do know the ending of it, but I don't really agree with this statement because JJK is, honestly, it is popular because it was during COVID. It gained a lot of popularity. And I do agree, it's not as good as some of the other animes that I've seen. But the story is honestly a really solid, really good story. It has an amazing fight scenes, amazing abilities, and a lot of sudden deaths that you wouldn't really expect. But I think it's an overall really good show. I don't really agree with this statement, but it kind of is true, kind of not. That's a lot with a lot of these. They're kind of true, but they're kind of not. I don't know. I'll let y'all decide on that. The big three isn't actually that good if you don't have nostalgia with them. Bloated animes with many filler episodes. That is kind of true because it's like they just keep continuing to make episodes even though they don't necessarily have to, but they're doing it for the fans more or less of, in my opinion, they're doing it for the fans more or less than the actual show itself. But I don't agree with the fact that they're not good because they are. They are really good. If I'm not mistaken, the big three is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece, if I'm not wrong. Or at least that's what's considered in the anime community. If I am wrong on that, that is my fault, but I am pretty sure, according to Tracy Allen, the big three is Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. And I have not watched Bleach yet, and I have not watched One Piece, but I know a lot about One Piece, and I know a little bit about Bleach. Okay? But let's be honest. Let's be honest here. A lot of shows, not just animes, a lot of shows that have long amounts of episodes, like hundreds, thousands of episodes, they are some of the best shows to watch. But there is a lot of fillers fillers meaning episodes that don't necessarily need to be there in order to understand the story, in order to get the gist of things. But sometimes they're necessary. They're necessary in some cases. Might not be a hot take, but anime should not have went as mainstream. Netflix has made way too many horrendous adaptations, and there are so many non-anime watchers who just use the IPs to promote their social media. This is not necessarily an anime hot take, it's just a take in general, but I don't really agree with this because this is honestly how I got into anime. Because growing up, the only way I could really watch anime is if I stayed up late at night and was on Cartoon Network and I watched late episodes of DBZ. That is literally like the only way. Let me tell you something. The first time I ever watched anime was my grandmother had I don't know where this VHS tape came from, but it was a VHS tape of Dragon Ball Z. And I think it was from my mom's brother. I am not sure where I got it from, but we had a VHS TV back in the day, and that was just like, I don't even remember what episodes it was or what season it was, but it was just Dragon Ball Z. So I would just plug it in and I would watch it. I would watch the same episodes over and over again because it was so cool, because the fights were so cool. I didn't even pay attention to the story. I just seen the cool fights and animation, and I just like, well, this is why I like Beyblades. Okay? This is why I like Beyblades. That is it. Another anime hot take. Beyblade and Pokemon are animes. Not really a hot take, but a lot of people don't agree with that. They are. I hate to break it to you, they are. Also, I don't know. But I do not agree with the fact that anime should not have went mainstream, because it should have. It's for everyone. Why hold that to yourself? The IPs to promote their social media, that's another thing. But that's a lot of ways that people get into watching animes, from Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, all this. I found out about Crunchyroll because I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen when it first had came out. I can't remember. It may have been Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen Oh, they only have the first season on Netflix, and I wanted to watch the second season, but the second season's only on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's cheaper than Netflix, so therefore I moved to Crunchyroll to primarily watch my animes. Obviously, some of the good ones like Bleach and other ones you have to get like Hulu, Amazon Prime, or whatever, and then you can watch it. But I do think it's a good thing that it's on mainstream, and that's going to be it. Oh my goodness, yeah, hey, this one's kind of interesting. Someone commented, Tanjiro is a better character than Naruto. He's not trying to fix every single demon he meets, and he doesn't try to forgive those who don't deserve it. That is a really bold statement. And I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not agreeing with you, necessarily. Because there's pros and cons of both. They both have a very similar character personality. They both have a very similar character personality. The only thing is that Tanjiro just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, and he just gradually gets better. Same with Naruto. But I do have to agree on the fact that Naruto is, in my opinion, a better character than Tanjiro, even though they are very similar, and I know Demon Slayer is my favorite anime of all time. Naruto is a better character than Tanjiro, but I can see why this person would comment Tanjiro is a better character than Naruto. Like, this is someone who commented on that comment. It says, this neglects the difference between the characters and their lives, and also misrepresents what Naruto even does. Not really arguing the take itself, but all your bias is off. Well, all your basis is off. That is kind of where I'm coming from. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not arguing against you. I'm just saying that there's just so much more with Naruto than there is with Tanjiro, because the whole point of Demon Slayer is, okay, Tanjiro's sister's a demon, Muzan killed his family, Tanjiro's want to turn his sister back into human while also saving the rest of the humans and basically getting rid of all the demons. Naruto is not just, he's not fighting this other force. He's fighting against other people. There's a whole lot more characters involved. There's a whole lot more plot going on. It's just so much more than just, you know, the basis of what Tanjiro's doing. But I do see where he's coming from. Okay, this person is just mad. This person is just angry at the world. This person commented, JoJo is mid, JJK is mid, My Hero is mid, ReZero is mid, and the Lupin series is mid. And Attack on Titan is hot garbage. You are just mad at the world. You are just mad at the world, and you don't like sitting through something. That is it. Like, you're just mad. I'm not even going to argue with you because you're wrong. Simple as that. So I don't like reading people's comments about, you know, someone saying something is mid, because that is a personal opinion, and I don't want to, you know, get into that, because anime is a personal opinion. Depending on, it's like any show or movie. It's based on what you like, okay? Like, for instance, this person commented, people who have a problem with anime fan service, please just leave the whole fandom. That's a fair point. And this one, I agree with, because I've said this in a previous video. Dubs are not automatically bad. Thank you. Someone can't get off scot-free because they're... What? Tragic backstories don't justify bad acts. Bad things aren't okay just because you have a reason. That is very true. Is that... Okay, the first... I mean, someone commented Black Clover is better than Naruto. I can't even comment on that because I haven't finished Black Clover. But y'all know my list right now. The last few seasons of Attack on Titan are packed so densely with stuff and plot armor that it got really painful to finish, and that generic predictable ending is so disappointing. It's not, I mean, it is a predictable ending, but you don't find that out until the last season of Attack on Titan, what the ending is probably going to be. Just get through it, okay? Tokyo Ghoul Season 2 was fire. Unfortunately, the directional was wrong only. That is very fair, because I do agree with that after someone explained to me after my Tokyo Ghoul video. Because a lot of stuff just didn't really make sense to me. And it's because they went... It's not exactly the manga. I need to read the manga or the rest of them. But that is a very invalid statement. This one's just kind of funny. Most anime, yes, even your favorite, is actually mid. You are just attached to a character or storyline within it that appealed specifically to you. And someone commented on that saying, then what is the meaning of life? And then they commented, by accepting that your favorite anime to be mid, you also accept that any other mid anime might be enjoyable. Now you are able to watch any anime with the ability to enjoy it for what it is. The peak of anime taste is having trash taste in anime. That is a jam-packed full of stuff. But it kind of is true, because this is kind of how I was. I was just so used to watching certain animes, I never really gave other animes a chance. That's why I'm watching a lot of stuff to really get into, like, okay, what I literally have mentioned this in my first ever anime video. I have not watched an anime that I didn't necessarily like. There's been some things I didn't like in that anime. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. That is a very valid statement. I do agree with that. And to end on that fact, because I don't want this video to be an hour long, I'm just going to call it right there. I hope you all enjoyed. If you all want me to do another hot take video, let me know in the comments. And yeah, subscribe if you're brand new. Greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be trying to stream more on Twitch. That is linked down in the description as well. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.